In the media, it's been growing exponentially in the media and seeping into the news, mainstream media. The effects of feminism on society and on women and on men. Let me preface this by saying a I'm not a part of the manosphere, part of the AOB sphere, but it's growing exceedingly annoying, exceedingly annoying that the messages that's perpetuated around feminism and its effects. Um, and I don't know if I might be the first one to say that. I think for this is opinion, but and all opinions should be steeped in fact. But uh, feminism is the best thing that ever happened to man. And this is not any pander talk or pandering. It's sincere, and I mean it from a standpoint of purpose. Um, Feminism is the best thing that's happened for men in the framework of now more than ever men are striving after their purpose. Um, I'm an advocate. I'm a biggest feminist. You ask me, I'm an advocate of feminism and let these women do what they want to do and as much of it as they want to do. Um, but the honest truth is, because of feminism, men as a whole no longer um, want to take women seriously, and by default, it tangibly benefits men because we no longer have to, uh, commit or look forward to child support or alimony or domestics or what I'm saying, kids taken from you or false allegations or the list continues and continues. Um, but just because I'm an advocate of being an advocate of women doing what they want to do don't mean you have to participate in it. Um, and because of it's a lot of men seeing that landscape of feminism, they decide to put their purpose over putty. You know, I did thought I saw a putty tag, but and this I was growing, and I see it on a daily basis, and it's becoming annoying because people are just now catching up to these talking points. Like this is kind of like old news. I see cats in the gym all the time, or on campus, or out and about, like locked in on goals, locked in on business or personal aspirations, and they tell me like I haven't been with I haven't my cat died. I know that's right. Yeah. But yeah, so a lot of men, the cat has died to them. They put the cat 9 feet under and decided to chase and pursue their passions. And it's a Carl Young. I don't quote me, but I believe Carl Young said, change the environment of a man, and you inherently and definitely change that man. Let me say that again. So if you change the environment of a man, you inherently change that man indefinitely. It's kind of like, in other words, product of your environment, and that's what we see with this feminism. And it's in a way it's like cutting the fat, and I see it, and it don't get me wrong. I ain't say it's the best thing that's happened to men, but it's the best thing that's happened for men. I see a lot of men putting God first, their purpose, and even more so, being fruitful and progressive, and p- positive progression, we will say. Um, and the hardest thing for most men is to walk away from a woman that they love, or women, or just having to go in monk mode to handle business, lock in, and go into that warrior season, to where it's like, yeah, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, get it all done, and it's just a different journey, and it's not. It's a lot of people, mad at one side or the other side, and I think that's real foolish. Um, learning to love consciously is, I think, is the biggest lesson for men in this situation, because they love to keep men blind. They love to keep you deaf, dumb, blind, and stupid, right? But when you come up out of that coma and you're like, no, I don't have time for this, I don't have time for that. I'm not finna associate, or I'm not desperate for attention, validation. Like you more conscious, and you pick and choose where you give your 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 energy, your money, your attention, your time. And just like females talk, men talk. So, and I know that's the biggest issue, is they it's almost systematic. They always want to keep men far and few in between and not connected, because they know it's common sense. When you have strong men come together, you have a strong unit. You can change things, overthrow government, all of that type of ordeal. So they don't like it when men are on one accord. So what do? They keep up confusion. You know what I'm saying? What's the best way to keep up confusion? Amongst the women. So that's anybody knows that. That's the oldest time. Women have caused the downfall of many great. They have single handedly contributed to the downfall of many great men more than anything ever in history. It's like factual. Like, it's biblical. It's tried and true. Like, anybody who wants to go against that is a lunatic. So, and there's nothing new under the sun. And it's like, you can repackage it, reprogram it, put the bells and whistles on it. It's the same thing over and over. You cannot how the saying go? You cannot outdo nature. Like, you cannot outsmart nature. You can in the small scheme of things, but in the grand scheme of things, you cannot outsmart nature. It's always gonna come back around full circle, or the pendulum is gonna swing back to the left, back to the left or to the right of equal force and momentum. So it's this whole feminism thing is forcing men to become masters of themselves. Women are like the ultimate test of self mastery. So once a man has dominated himself, dominated his thoughts, his actions, his behavior, nothing can control him. And I think that's what ultimately people are most afraid of. My man, you can't control. See, everybody loves a man you can control. So, in the sense of feminism, it's the best thing that ever happened for men, because it's systematically teaching men to be in control of themselves, be in self control. People always talk about they want a man who's a self controlled man. You know what, Paul? Quick segue. I used to have this beautiful Vietnamese young lady in stayed in Vegas, right? And she taught me something one day. She was like, asked me, I forgot how she presented it, or she asked me, but it was the definition of a gentleman. And long story short, get into the whole story build up. But long story short is, a gentleman is a very dangerous man who learn how to control it. See, anybody who's not a dangerous man, that doesn't make them a gentleman, because they don't have the capacity for danger or violence or mayhem. But when you have the capacity, the ability to cause chaos and confusion and dismay and disorder, but you choose not to, you choose to be constructive. That's the definition of a gentleman, because you have the monster in you, but you pick and choose when you let the monster out to roam how you know are willing for it to roam, and go where you willing for it to go. So, man, peace peace to that young lady, because she taught me a lot about that. So, and I carry that with me. So, becoming a master of yourself um, is the number one tool to conquering anything, especially for a man, anything. And feminism has just accelerated that for men. So hey, don't complain about it. There's nothing to complain about. Nothing to be mad about. It's like asking that's like asking the fish not to swim. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's like asking water not to be wet. You can't be mad at, you know, you can't be mad at certain things that just come with it. Now, if it don't belong, it don't belong. But yeah, so I am I'm thankful for I'm thankful for feminism. For a while, it'll get you upset, it'll get you livid, it'll get you mad, like because it's a lot of nonsense. But once another thing, I was in LA one time and this older uh taekwondo. I said, how do I forgot the question I asked him, but how do you prevent certain things? How do I prevent this harm and hardship from befalling upon me? And his answer was so simple: disengage. Man, and disengaging sometimes hurts because it takes a whole another level of self discipline and order. To whereas I want to be in the mix, I want to be around this person. I want to surround myself with these type of energies. But however, it's not kosher. You know what I'm saying? Everything has to be properly presentable before it's acceptable. Like it might be the right energy, wrong frequency. Like something is off. So until it can be in the right circumstances with the right ingredients, you have to choose to stay out the formula, stay out the pot. Even though you want that gumbo, put it like that. Like I've been looking forward to this gumbo, but the celery ain't there, or the crab ain't there, right? Or the shrimp ain't there. Like, don't even, not even get involved from the start making the gumbo, and the ingredients ain't right, or the stove don't work at the right temperature. So it's just refraining from the situation that you actively want to be in, and creating the situation before you get to whipping up the gumbo, get to cooking. Let them cook before you get to cooking, so you have a controlled and desired results. Man, a lot of people going into situations without intentionally having the end in mind, and that's how the ship just ends up wherever it may end up. Right? It's the saying that I think Erica Badu said: uh, keep on drifting without a sail. Ain't no telling where you land." It's true. Keep on drifting without a sail. Man, the wind gonna blow you anywhere. The current gonna take you anywhere. So that's the wake up that people in society ultimately don't like about feminism, because men are waking up to their their self respect, they power, their divine purpose. You know what I'm saying? What they supposed to do, and they can't. They choosing not to be played on or play on nobody. So it can no longer perpetuate um, havoc or harm. Now, don't get me wrong. Yeah, it's gonna be like certain males out here still playing the player role, or the f boy role, right? But everybody has their time of awakening. Everybody has a time of awakening, and before anybody allows it to upset them, embrace it for what the greater good that it can breed. You know what I mean? And then maybe, and that's called a silver lining. Try to find the silver lining in whatever it is that seems to be oppressing you, or holding you back, or hindering you. And I hope that a lot of young males adopt that, because it's a lot of bitter and disgruntled young men about the current state of whatever, and women too. But it's a beautiful thing. I'm not mad at nobody. Hold grudges against for nobody. I'm thankful for, what I'm saying, for feminism. It taught me to disengage from a lot of behavior, disengage from a lot of people, disengage from you know uh, a pretty face but a bad attitude, or disengage from institutions or systems that they already planned for me to plug and play in since before my birth. Like, no, just because somebody had a design spot for you don't mean designed spot for you. You know what I mean? Sometimes you have to go against the grain. It's a it's a blueprint. You know, it's a guide. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you have to stay within the guide. It's just for you to line your own way up. Guidelines. So finding your own way and still being true to yourself and not like pushing your ideologies on anybody. So before anybody goes through the rage or frustration, man, take it as a blessing that you can wake up and strive to be all you can be. How you don't have to, how you can be self-sustenance. How you don't have to put up with mistreatment or put up with what you don't want. You have the ability and the power to walk away from what don't serve you, man. That's the biggest thing as a man. That why they upset because they haven't developed the ability to walk away. You can't, you can't. Certain things you can't fight. Certain things you can't out logic. Certain things you can't reason with. Certain things you can't bribe. Certain things you can't coax. Certain things you can't manipulate. Certain things you can't like orchestrate. You got to walk away, and that's your only choice, walking away. But a lot of people always feel like they got to be doing something, or they feel like a failure if they don't do something. But that comes with discernment. You know what I'm saying? That's wisdom. Yeah, I want this situation to change. I would love for the situation to be something that it's not right now. But I know through my discernment and my wisdom and my understanding that me being in this situation in any facet is not going to allow it to manifest into what I want it to be or what would best suit me or the other party. So what do I have to choose to do? Walk away, remove myself. And sometimes that's the hurtful part where, man is really made in the fire. You know what I'm saying? Where boys is turned to men. That self castration, having to sit back and be like, yeah, I want to be over here. I want to be over here with them. I want to do this. But no, I got to sit here with my thoughts, with my intentions, with my discipline, and just sit in the fire. I had a conversation with my cousin. It was some years ago, and we used to have some deep conversations. And it was like, man, I wonder what. I think it was not Gandhi. Gandhi was the one who went on the hunger strike, but some of the Buddhists, some famous Buddhists, but used to light themselves on fire in protest. Like how how do you light yourself on fire and have the peace just to sit there and just take it? That's a different type of self control. That's a different type of. That's a different type of you know power. And once men have learned how to wield that power and master that power, we're unstoppable. So thank you to the environment that is pushing and prodding and encouraging us to be the best versions of man that we can be. You dig?